Good morning, party people. Good morning, the sicko's back. We had a little week off, working on some new things, gonna change some things up down the road here. Gonna spice things up a little bit, pivot a little bit, get things rocking. So today, me and my boy Matt, we're gonna get into some business here and knock some things off the block right now and get things rocking. And hopefully you guys like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, tell your mamas I say hi.
Well, Wayne, once again, we're here, and I thought that we'd do something a little bit interesting today. Whereas instead of just having you rant for about an hour, we're actually going to have stuff for you to react to.
Nice.
Change, yeah. So there's this article that I found, and it says that I am a former stripper, and these are the myths about strippers that I am sick of hearing. So we're going to be talking about the most popular myths surrounding strippers today.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah, and we're gonna get your expert opinion on this. So this is a very interesting article, and I'm just going to go through like different paragraphs and then have you react to them. So you tell me what you think, if this girl is telling the truth or how accurate she is, all that stuff.
Yeah. This will be interesting. I like this. I like it.
All right. So the first thing that they say is, what are the working conditions like? And she says, it 100% depends on the club that you're working at and the management team that runs it. In Australia, there are pretty strict rules and regulations in places to keep dancers safe and in control. If a customer is being inappropriate, you can terminate the dance at any time, no refund, no questions asked. Essentially, though, as a dancer, you work for yourself like a contractor. You pay a door fee to work. Most of the time, you work at least 8-hour shifts. Some clubs will pressure you to come in 5 nights a week. Others are cool with less. Just like any job, it varies depending on your workplace.
All right. Some of that's true. I mean, well, it's a house fee. I guess maybe out their way it's door fees. You know what I mean? Some clubs do require you to stay 6 hours. I'm not too sure of too many that are doing the 8 hours, maybe out in Cali right now, because out there, I think some of the entertainers, I think it's going on out there, or it's coming back on out there. I don't know. It's off and on out there where entertainers are considered employees and got to file for their taxes type of deal. So maybe at those clubs, they got to do 8 hours. I'm not sure. I know at some clubs out here in Vegas, majority of them, it's 6 hours. Certain clubs, there's a few maybe out here that don't require you to stay that long, so you can kind of just check in and check out. You could show up, and then as long as you paid your house fee, you know what I mean? If like 10 minutes later you decided to leave, then you're all good. You know what I mean?
All right. So here are some of the common myths about strippers that this lady addresses. The first myth is that it's like a party every night. She says it's not. For real, dancing is nothing like in the movies. It's closer to weird kick-ons than the actual party, because a lot of the job is just sitting and chatting. However, if it's a busy night and you're booked for dances back to back, you get the biggest workout of your life. You'll be telling customers you're off for a bathroom break just to go and sit in the dressing room to catch your breath for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, like the homie Todd, when he was on there, DJ Todd, even like for us DJs, there is downtimes at the clubs. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just chilling on your phone or scrolling or texting or checking shit out. Maybe some people are watching movies on their phone. I don't know. You know what I mean? But there is quite a bit of some downtime in the strip clubs, beginning either opening or closing, or sometimes even during a middle of a shift. It kind of just depends on the club and the action going down. You know what I mean? Granted, the environment also says a lot. So if the DJ's rocking, you know what I mean, then that's what's up. It's going to be a party, but I try to have a party even though if there's one dude in there or 150 people in there, you know what I mean? It's just in me to rock it however which way I rock, you know what I mean? Or I'll go off, play a lot off the crowd. So, but yeah, there is some nights these entertainers are moving and grooving, you know what I mean? They're either jumping up on stage a couple songs 2-3 times a night. Then you got them doing the VIP stuff. So yeah, I mean, it could definitely take its toll on an entertainer's body. That's for sure.
So the next myth that she says is that for girls who work in strip clubs, that is their only option. And she says it definitely wasn't my only option, but often it's the option with the most immediate financial stability. I think that's important to recognize because it affords dancers, most often women, more disposable time for their studies, families, hobbies, and careers, and or simply themselves. Just remember that dancers are choosing to be there. I don't appreciate that weird guy who sits in the corner and thinks he's some sort of Prince Charming because he refuses to buy a lap dance from those damsels in distress. Strippers know what they're doing, and they're there for your money, so give it to them.
Yeah. I mean, I believe pretty much every entertainer chooses that they want to dance. You know what I mean? There could be some out there financially that it's out of necessity, you know what I mean? Or where they're like, oh man, like I got no choice. I'm going to, you know, and maybe it's better they dance instead of escort. You know what I mean? There could be that avenue, but majority of the women in the game, they know the hustle probably, and they know they look good, and they're probably like, all right, you know what? Let me give this a shot. Let me give this a chance because there could be a lot of good financial freedom out of that. You know, you got these women. Some girls do the right thing and take advantage and get all that dough and get that education behind it and then push forward and move on. Some stay in the game a long time and just ride it out till they can't anymore. And maybe they're stacking. Some might just be blowing their wads the day after they make it. Birkin purses, Louis Vuitton, hitting the Gucci store, shit like that. You know what I mean? Boiling crab, whatever they got rocking out there. Maestros, all the different spots, living it up. You know what I mean? Wondering like in 5 years, like, damn, where'd all my money go? And shit, what am I going to do now?
So I want to hear your response to this next myth before I tell you what she wrote. She says that the next big myth is that strippers don't actually enjoy what they do.
Now, don't get me wrong. There's a handful probably that definitely don't. But there is also a few that do like just entertaining, you know what I mean? Do like jumping on stage, hitting the pole, doing the tricks, do like doing some dances and interacting and being chill with customers. But yeah, I'd probably say 60, maybe a good 60% of the entertainers out there don't like it, don't want to do it, but know the financial freedom or know the money's there and say, fuck it, let's go get it. You know what I mean?
Well, she said that sometimes she enjoyed it, but sometimes it was mind-numbingly boring, just like any other job.
Yeah.
All right, so let me get your take on this next myth. And that is that the customers are all creepy old men.
Those little motherfuckers are out there. They are out there. I'll never forget, I worked at TJ Showgirls, Stanton, California, out there on Beach Boulevard, heart of the OC. And I was managing at the time. And so a couple of the day shifts I had to cover for the homie, George Lopez, R.I.P. my boy Lopez. But, you know, there would be these creepy old fuckers coming in and they would legit be showing up. I don't know if you remember them or not, Matt, but those little dolphin shorts.
I don't remember those, no.
They're fucking like halfway up your thigh, silky. They got a little dolphin on the fucking front of it, like another brand of Izod or something, but they're dolphin shorts. So they're micro mini fucking material, and these old dudes would just be showing up on this day shift. Now, granted, back there, it was like I said, these $10 fucking lap dances, bump and grind, R. Kelly shit. Back then, it was no full nude, no topless. So it was kind of crazy that these dudes would show up, but they're getting every bang for their buck with that mini ass pair of shorts on, and then you got these fuckers walking around the club with these big old hard-ons. You know what I mean? So, and it's blatantly right there to see. You can't miss these fuckers' nightsticks just sticking out.
Are you talking about like those old 90s like bicycle shorts?
But
like the super tight, like
no, it would be loose though. Loose. Like boxers basically, but they were shorts. It was funny, man, and they're wearing their little fucking polo shirts. But yeah, there's still some of those guys out there, and a lot of those guys are hitting the nude spots because they're already, unfortunately, they're probably they're attracted to these younger of girls, you know what I mean, and got that kind of weird fantasy probably going on and want to see full nude as opposed to top of spots. It's more of the hustle bustle, drinking, doing some rounds. You might get some girls that'll sit and talk with you and hang out and kind of chill, but that kind of stuff she's probably persuading to is probably in some nude shit, you know what I mean? Or like on a day shift for an alcohol spot open, you know?
Well, she says that this myth is so untrue. Some of the customers are creepy old men, but she met far more creepy men working in a cafe than she did working in a strip club. Most customers, she says, are just normal, regular people.
Yeah. That is true, too. I mean, I know some people that work in lawyer offices, and it's a fucking disaster zone. They're just getting hit on like it's fucking Pornhub, you know what I mean? But
really? In doctor's offices?
Yeah, and different shit. Like you got the shit, even looking in the professional world, these fucking massage therapists and these football players are different athletes and shit. Everyone's just some horny fuckers out there, man.
All right, so what's your take on this myth, which is strippers can't have romantic relationships because of what they do as a profession?
Okay, that's a good one. Now, I've been in relationship with dancers, bartenders. I don't know if I messed with any waitresses or not. I think I messed around just hooking up here and there, but that's a rough one. Yeah, I was in love, so I mean, it can happen. They were in love type deal back. You just gotta have a lot of patience, man, and a lot of confidence in yourself and a lot of confidence in your relationship and the strength of your bond together. Granted, these chicks are going to be getting hit on 24/7. Some could be millionaires. Some could be some broke fucks. But, they're getting hit on all the time. And they're probably constantly telling motherfuckers no. They're getting complimented all the time. So that could boost these women's ego. And then if you're treating them like shit, although I know a gang load of entertainers out there that got dickhead boyfriends that just sit at home and be gaming, like me and Marcos were talking about that one time. You know what I mean? Just a bunch of pothead hippie motherfuckers sitting at home playing fucking PlayStation and fucking while their chicks fucking out getting the hustle on, So it's tough, man. It's tough. It just depends on your relationship goals and where you guys both are at the time, and if it's something you want to build and grow and work for, it's going to take some work. That's for sure.
Yeah, she says that she's gotten far more weird reactions and energy when she told people that she used to strip in the past than when she was dating while she was stripping. And she says her partner now couldn't care less.
Yeah. I mean, I've been in a relationship once where I was like tripping, like telling my girl, look, I'm making a good amount of money. Like, why don't you back off dancing and get into something else? And she threw right in my face, well, you met me doing this. Like, this is what I want to do, blah, blah, blah. So, which is true. Granted, you know what I mean? That's how I, was attracted to her and interacted with her, and we ended up becoming an item. But you still at the same time want to try to, put these girls on a platform to build and grow and expand and broaden their brand or their horizons, you know what I mean? Instead of being stuck in the clubs, That's what I was trying to do. And obviously she still wanted to just be in the club, grinding on deck.
As they do, yeah. All right, so the next myth is that strippers make thousands of dollars every night.
Nah. That it can happen. I knew a girl out here a couple times, banging chick, kind of like Middle Eastern chick. We'll leave it at that. I don't want to expose anybody, or I'm super cool with her, but you know what I mean? I don't want to put her business out there, but she had made, 10 G's, 15 G's a couple different times in one night. You know what I mean? And I know she wasn't doing any funny shit either for it, so that's props right there. That's good shit. You know what I mean? But she'd also be the same type that'll take a month off, 2 months off. You know what I mean? Bro, if I'm making 10 G's a night, I'll be honest. I'll suck dick right now for 10 G's a night if I'm in the strip club. I'll let you put it in my butt even for 20 G's. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to the highest bidder. My mouth and ass is for sale, for sure. Titty fuck you on the floor, whatever I got to do. Maybe it's great that I'm a DJ and not a dancer, though. I don't know. I'd probably be busted, or I'd for sure be sucking dick on a fucking at the Wind Suite Towers or something right now. We wouldn't even be having this conversation. Some rich, fat fucking white dude will be rubbing on my ass.
All right. So she says that some nights you make thousands, others you make nothing. It can be a bit depressing, but if you have nobody walking through the door, you're not going to make any money. That's where strippergrams worked well. Dancers would chat with their regulars and followers and hopefully get more to come in.
Yeah, I believe that. I mean, yeah, exactly, bro, on that. There is those days, like I said, man, a chick could come in one night, make 5 G's, the next night make fucking $20. You know what I mean? There is those scenarios out there like that, and that's why we got to take the good with the bad sometimes. Just like me, there could be a night I make $1,200 DJing. The next night it's kind of whack, or there's no action really popping off, or exactly like she said, no one coming through the doors, and I made like fucking $120. You know what I mean? That's where the owners got to come in and do their fucking job, because everyone's doing their part to fucking get the spot cracking. The girls are in there, the employees are in there. It's the owner's job to get the people through the fucking door. You know what I mean? And if they ain't doing that, then what you got? You know what I mean? So, yeah, she's right on that one.
So the final myth that she tackles is kind of a weird one, but she basically says that the myth is you can't be a stripper and a feminist. And she says this one's so silly. If your feminism is exclusionary in any way, it's not real feminism. Sex worker rights are women's rights. Morality shouldn't even come into the argument. Whether you personally would visit a strip club or not, you can support sex industry workers and vouch for their rights. When we are pushing for equality, but policing the way women achieve it financially, that's not feminism. That's purity culture and ignorance.
Yeah, that's a slippery slope right there. You know what I mean? You got some people that respect it, some that obviously don't, some that'll frown upon it. You know what I mean? Like, I've known guys bringing their girlfriends in and they're like, what the fuck are we doing here? And these are just fucking hoes. I don't want to talk to these girls. I don't want to see these girls. Da. You know what I mean? But probably secretly at home fucking playing some fucking Chris Brown, dancing in front of their fucking mirror. You know what I mean? So I get it, but it's hard to tell on that shit. You know what I mean? Like, plus women hate on women in the industry itself. Even fuck, man, a lot of dancers, entertainers, they can't really become best homies in a lot of cases because of the greed and because of jealousy, so to speak. You know what I mean? that interaction always fucks something up one way or the other. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. All right. So that was pretty much that article. Is there any final thing you want to say about that before we move on?
Shit, I'd love to meet that chick for a drink or two and maybe give her a kiss on the cheek. Which cheek, I don't know. But I'd love to.
Fair enough. All right. So we're going to switch gears a little bit here. So we often talk about strippers and strip clubs on your podcast here, but I found this interesting article about a bottle girl who works at a Vegas nightclub, and it's kind of like an interesting kind of like look at how female cocktail waitresses or bottle girls are treated in nightclubs, and in some ways, it's even more extreme than what you see in the strip clubs, according to this girl. And it's kind of funny because we here at the studio actually know this girl. We ran into her at a Raiders game, and she was doing a TikTok, and so we got to know her that way.
Nice.
Her name is Carrie Oroxo, something like that. But she's 28 years old, and she works at Omnia Nightclub in Caesar's Palace. And this is a kind of a weird article, but she talked about how she got hired at Omnia as a bottle girl. And basically she says, you give them your resume and wait in line before doing a mini interview. They take a Polaroid of you front and back, and then you go in front of a panel. You answer questions like your name, if you've ever done bottle service before, maybe a fun fact, and your personality just has to shine through. You find out later if you have a callback to do a more formal interview. You have to be 21 by the time the club opens to get hired, because usually you do a couple months of training. I got the job 2 weeks after I turned 21, so I hadn't even officially been into a club yet. All the clubs in Vegas, mine included, are usually open one weekday, and then on the weekends. Our big days are Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday, and we're open as a small venue on Thursdays.
I like it. What some people don't know is when I first came out here because of the cock block and hater shit, I was with Hakkasan Group. I did work at Omnia. I did work at Hakkasan a few times, and I worked at Jewel Nightclub on Monday nights. And yeah, she's right. You do get that. We did a Jewel over there Friday, Saturday, and a Monday night. Monday nights are real huge out here. Omnia Tuesday nights are real big out here, plus the weekend. Hakkasan, I think it's Wednesday night, and then the weekend. So their venues with Hakkasan Group, I don't know if it's even Hakkasan Group now. I think they might have got bought out by Tao Group. Some shit. There's a lot of different stuff going on with that whole industry there itself. But I do know some of it, and they pretty much got it set up to where they're open 7 days a week throughout however many venues they got. So yeah, and that's the procedure, man. It's like kind of like them old school days when you're a showgirl on the strip and shit. You know, they probably gotta, you know, they do the little picture thing, the little interview thing, make you walk back and forth, jump in your little fucking bathing suit. You know what I mean? But I'll tell you what, they make fucking dough. A lot of the times they work like six months. I knew some girls that were doing this, doing pool season only for the 4 or 5, 6 months, however long pool season is out here. And then they go on unemployment for the rest of the year. And these chicks are rolling around in fucking Beamers and S-Class and fucking Gucci, Prada, the Chanel'd out, fucking head to toe, and then at the same time fucking picking up some fucking food stamps or some bullshit on the side. You know what I mean? It's kind of crazy, that shit, if they take advantage of the system like that or not. But yeah, that reminds me real quick. I was talking to this the other day about somebody. I saw an article. Let me know what you think about this one, Matt. It's weird. I saw an article and then I was talking to someone about it. Then at the same time, I was talking about, or I saw it on Instagram as well. Girls, hot ass girls, bangers, brother, are going out and getting getting shitted on out in Dubai. They're getting paid like $80,000 to $150,000. These top class hot ass models to go to Dubai and get shit on.
Yeah, that's nothing new. Like when I lived in LA, I'd run into girls at clubs who were like, they'd just gotten out of like a 1-year contract for like $120,000 to be part of a harem in the Middle East. Because basically all these like rich oil magnates and princes and sheiks and stuff like that, they basically find very attractive American white women and they put them under contract for like, 6 figures, and they just come and like live, and whenever the guy wants to have sex with them, that's what they do. And then the rest of the time it's just downtime. They're like shopping or hanging out in their apartment or something like that. But basically these guys cultivate a stable of women for very high, like basically 6-figure contracts.
Yeah.
To just basically go out, live with them for a year, have sex with them whenever they want. And it's usually like, maybe like once a month because they have so many women.
Yeah.
So like it's a very easy gig apparently.
Yeah, bring that up because that's what some of these bottle girls end up getting into, because in that industry, you're getting these guys from Dubai, you're getting these guys from the UK, you're getting a lot of these bigger, higher end money guys going into these nightclubs and fucking it off with the bottles and the bottle service and the actors and actresses and athletes, you know what I mean? And that's that crowd you're getting in there, more opposed to strip club stuff, you know what I mean? Because they want that nightlife, that energy, that high flow. Not that we're not bringing it at strip clubs, but it's just kind of two different worlds, you know what I mean? But yeah, that temptation's out there like a motherfucker, bro.
Well, the interesting part is, so as this article goes on, she says that she usually only works 3 days a week. The nightclub opens at around 10:30 p.m. She starts getting ready at home 2 hours beforehand. She eats dinner before she goes and packs a snack, and then she changes into her dress with high heels and touches up her makeup. And then when she gets to work, she sets up her section and goes to the pre-shift meeting with her department. There's been a huge liquor shortage recently, I guess when the article was written. So we've had to change our menu. Discussing menu changes has been a big part of her pre-shift meeting lately. She also finds out what guests are coming in for, and if there are any important birthdays. Then they break to go to their sections and wait. She usually has anywhere from 2 to 4 tables, depending on her section. Her job is to guide them through the night, although they're supposed to sell to them and encourage them to buy. Unfortunately, she wants them to have a good time, and she wants them to come back. That's more important than having them blow their budget.
Yeah. I mean, that's a whole new world over there. I've seen guys going in there paying $40,000-$50,000 for bottles and shit. You know what I mean? That we can get at Lee's liquor store right now for fucking $80, $70. You know what I mean? But you're getting the electrical fucking drums being played. You're getting the fucking getting carried out on a fucking car. You know, like the extravaganza that Vegas brings is what you're paying for in that memory or that fucking photo shooter signage or whatever that comes out with that. But yeah, they're basically rocking about 3 days a week and making huge money, man. Like they make like 6 figures, bro. You know what I mean? And half the time they're just there basically looking sexy and flirting. The porters are running around doing all the fucking work. You know what I mean? And they're just looking sexy, standing there like Vanna White, turning numbers, but they're pouring fucking shots and drinks, you know?
Yeah.
Kudos to that for sure.
So this next part here where she talks about that she only does bottle service at the table. And she says, like, you wouldn't order a Long Island iced tea from me. I personally don't even know how to make one. If you have a $10,000 minimum, you're agreeing to spend $10,000 on liquor, and that doesn't include the tax, the venue fee, or the gratuity. When we bring bottles over, we use lights, confetti, sparklers, and costumes. All the clubs compete to bring something new to that because obviously the wholesale value of the liquor is not what the markup is. We're selling the experience and trying to create nights that people are never going to forget. We only do presentations with champagne. Occasionally there are exceptions for very high-end tequila or cognac. On New Year's Eve, you're probably going to spend at the very least $5,000 to get lights and confetti because we're going to have tables with $30,000 minimums. When she started the job, she knew that people were rich, but she didn't understand how rich people are and how many of them there are. You're getting the creme de la creme of rich people. Everybody has money. They're coming to you. We didn't even have to search for them. When she started, her little 21-year-old self was blown away. They're not flinching at how much money they're spending. No one's credit card ticks up a fraud alert. Their wives aren't calling them asking what's happening. No one cares. That was just crazy to her. She'd never seen anything like it.
Yeah. I saw that shit firsthand. I stood in front of them tables. So yeah, man, she's right on. Spot on.
I mean, like $30,000 minimum tables.
Bro, I was there with Michael Jordan and them, and their table was like 60 G's. Paris Hilton was like a $40,000 or $50,000 table. Halsey and DJ Khaled, I think their shit was like 70, 80 grand. They were fucking off. Drake came in one night. Now, granted, though, those guys are probably getting some of that shit comped, or, you know, they're a lot of shit probably comped on there, but their people or their groups of people, you know what I mean, are paying that, the groups that are going with them. But yeah, some of these like UK guys in there, man, I've seen plenty of UK guys just fucking off 20, 30 G's easily at these tables, you know what I mean? And you're just like, damn, bro, like all on alcohol, you know what I mean? And like she said, confetti and fucking lights and memories, bro, you know?
So she mentions here that they pool tips as a venue to stop any favoritism. And she says it's also because sometimes we have important executives come in and they might not tip, or they might have family members come in and you don't want to harass your manager's mom for $100. At the same time, you wouldn't want someone giving her bad service because they weren't getting a tip out.
Yeah.
We tip out our bussers and bartenders, but those two departments also have people that they tip out from the money that we give them. Tip out percentages are decided on day one. And if we have one single gratuity that's $100,000 or higher, which doesn't happen often, but it does happen, then we tip out a little higher percentage. When we get a tip that large, the venue doesn't typically have that much cash to be able to split it up. So it usually gets wire transferred to us and takes a couple of days. I do technically make an hourly wage, but I couldn't even tell you what it is. When the club opens, the IRS will take all the paperwork and average out the sales to come up with what they believe is your typical gratuity per hour. They do all the math and come in and ask us to be tip compliant. My hourly tip compliance rate is so high that it eats into my actual hourly wage and taxes. We're a union property, and there are perks that come with that. I get a pension, I have health insurance, all that. There's someone who has my back.
Yeah, I don't know that much into that world of that, but I know they make a gang load of money. But that's pretty interesting right there for sure. You know, like I said, that's a whole other world over there. It's like, you know, in the strip clubs, don't get me wrong, there is guys out that'll just be back in the VIP, not just the same as this group of people, you know what I mean? These nightclub people where they don't give a fuck, their cards will run. And I've known some guys to drop 80 grand, 100 grand in a VIP out here in Vegas, you know? So it just depends, man, on what what they got and what they feel like spending. And, you know, like shit, just the other night, a guy was up in the VIP just hour after hour after hour. You know what I mean? It can go down.
So she says, as with any other waitressing job, sometimes guests are rude. Only we have the added component of people being drunk, which sometimes makes it a little bit more difficult. My personal pet peeve is when people are just sloppy. The worst is when people accidentally burn you with their cigarettes, because it seems so disrespectful to me. If you are responsible enough to be able to smoke, you should be responsible enough not to burn people. I think the job is a lot grosser than people realize. There's throw up and glass breaks and sometimes things that are just unavoidable. I've never personally been thrown up on, but I know plenty of people who have been. When that happens, you're given the option to go home most of the time. But sometimes, if it's a really big night, you might just go and change and come back out. Now, I do think that probably like bottle service, club waitresses, stuff like that, do kind of get exposed to like gross stuff. But I tend to think that strippers are probably like exposed to way grosser stuff than these girls are. What would you have to say to that?
Oh yeah, and that sucks because these, nothing against the waitresses and bartenders in my deal. These waitresses in these nightclubs, you know, they're all bundled. Yeah, I've seen crazy shit. I've seen, some of these dancers, bro, are grinding on somebody and the guy nuts in his pants. You know what I mean? Other guys just walk into VIP pool and they're fucking their dicks out, you know, and waitresses are obviously right there seeing that shit too. You know what I mean? I had a manager one time say he was walking back with a dancer to okay a card verification, and the guy standing there fucking butt naked. So the manager had to see the little fucker's dick and the waitress and the entertainer, you know what I mean? But yeah, you get the people too. The other day, someone was pissing on the ATM machine. You know what I mean? Like guys shitting themselves, pissing themselves, nutting on themselves. That's pretty wild. That a lot of that goes on at the nightclubs too, because you got to think there, especially those people are more prone to be doing fucking coke, whatever the fuck they're gonna get on, and then drink on top of that. You know what I mean? Or now that it's warming up, you got these guys getting fucked up all day long, and then they're going to turn around and go and blow whatever, eat something, do a few rails, and then they're back out that night. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's wild, the nightlife industry, man, especially out here in Vegas.
Well, her next part goes into detail into sexual harassment, and it definitely does happen in the nightclub. She says, women can be just as bad as men. The boundaries just aren't there, and sometimes they just don't understand that it's your job. The bottle girls don't drink at our venue, and sometimes people will really push it on you. Or they'll say something like, I love your dress, and then grab your dress. That's not something that you would do to an employee if you were at Target or at the grocery store. It depends on each person what their personal boundaries are. I don't mind if somebody wants to come up and give me a hug. That's not really a huge deal to me, but I know some girls who are uncomfortable about handshakes and high fives because in the nightclub, we just don't really know where people's hands have been. So what's your take on sexual harassment in the nightclubs?
Yeah, because those chicks are hot, bro. They're fucking hot. I've seen it full blown firsthand. Bangers. So you got to figure, you got these drunk fucks, you know, or rich fucks looking at hot women, you know what I mean, serving them. And maybe in their countries, you know, a lot of the degrading of women, or they get what they want, or blah, 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 you know what I mean? So, yeah, that's a whole different can of worms to open up right there, that I feel sorry for those waitresses and bottle girls to be going through, or any kind of bar service. You know, it sucks. Because in some venues, in some places, even in strip clubs, the bar staff might be hotter than any of the dancers you got. You know what I mean? I've worked at establishments like that. So, you know, it's a catch-22, man. But yeah, you know, you got to have a tough skin for this nightlife. And you know, just like at some strip clubs, man, you know, like how they had these auditions for these bottle girls, where you got to get in your bikini and you walk back and forth. Out of the strip clubs do that shit too, or they throw you on stage for a song or two. And some of the clubs out here, we won't say any names just to keep shit cool today, but fucking, they'll tell a chick like, yo, you gotta lose 15, 20 pounds. Hey, you gotta lose 40 pounds. You know what I mean? And you gotta have a tough skin. You gotta be able to fucking absorb that shit, I guess. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's that would suck, you know what I mean? It'd be like me fucking some chick and her being like, babe, are you in? Like, grow a few more inches on your cock so I can fucking feel you or something. You know what I mean?
Well, it's funny that you should mention that, because I was actually reading an article from a strip club owner who kind of talked about, or he was like kind of answering questions about, like, you know, how they treat the girls and stuff. And there's something that I think some strip clubs picked up from cruise ships, where like when they hire a girl, they'll weigh her and they'll mark her weight. And if she goes like below or above like 10 pounds at the weight that they hired her at, then they either tell them to not come back until they get back in shape or they fire them. Have you ever heard about that before?
Yeah, I mean that shit goes on for sure, man. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all, you know what I mean, which is kind of fucked up, but you know, then you go to some clubs, bro, and it's a fucking absolute free for all, you know what I mean? All those clubs are giving a fuck about is those house fees coming in all night, you know? So yeah, man, you got to have tough skin. It can get brutal out there. Look at me. When I first came to Vegas, man, I'm on my high horse. I'm the number one DJ in the fucking planet. I'm this, I'm that. I couldn't even get interviewed. I couldn't even fucking audition. You know what I mean? Everywhere. No, 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 or no, 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 or oh, we don't got nothing. Or these fucking managers wouldn't even come out and talk to you. You know what I mean? So that ended up weighing on me, man, where I'm kind of like, fuck, man, maybe I'm not as good as I think. Maybe this, maybe this, maybe this, maybe that. You know what I mean? And, you know, luckily through different homies and family and different people, it's like I didn't give up and now I'm rocking and doing what I'm doing. But yeah, man, for a split second there, it got in my head even like, fuck, what the fuck, you know? But I knew better. I knew what was up, but it still can affect you. You know what I mean? Whether it's a male or female, you know what I mean? Like, believe me, I still wish I could add a couple more inches to my cock. That'd be beautiful right now. I'd have an OnlyFans dropping tonight at midnight.
You got to find some way to make money, I suppose.
Fuck.
All right, I got one last article I want to get your take on. And this article basically says that a woman's missing husband returns to a Vegas hotel room with $6,000 in strip club charges he says he didn't make. And this article goes on to recount the story of this woman that she posted on Reddit asking for advice. It says, during a couple's trip to Las Vegas, a woman wakes up to find her husband gone and his phone's location service found off before the questions keep coming after he returns to their room intoxicated beyond comprehension. Basically, a 28-year-old woman with her 34-year-old husband went to a kind of last-minute vacation in Vegas. She was tired, so she went to bed early and encouraged him to go out and have a good time. But when she woke up, she found that he was nowhere to be found in the room, essentially missing. And when she went to check his location via cell phone, it had been turned off. He showed up around 3 a.m. and she discovered that basically he was extremely intoxicated. And she noticed alerts on her phone about up to $6,000 worth of charges in a strip club. And so basically she thinks that he was not just getting dances, but having like some type of hanky-panky going on in there. And she's asking for advice on what to do. So what would be your advice in this situation?
You told him to go out and live it up, have some fun. I mean, motherfucker probably was going out the casino doors and you got the valet dudes or the taxi dudes or drivers out there. You want to go to, or promoter, want to go to a strip club, go to a strip club. I can get you in free, blah, blah, blah. Probably got suckered in that way, got to the club, saw something sexy and hot, started getting fucked up, started dropping some dough. You know what I mean? Sounds like a good time, you know, but when you're in relationships, man, it's a slippery slope. Some couples love it, enjoy it, have the greatest of times. Some couples always fight, go home pissed off, fighting with each other. Some couples aren't couples anymore. You know what I mean? I've seen a couple go in, the girl leave, the dude in the VIP for 5 hours. You know what I mean? So I've seen a couple come in, a lady leave with another customer, and the guy's sitting there all pissed off, leaving empty-handed by himself. So yeah, man, and as for the charges, I don't know. I doubt he fucked. It depends on what club he was at, depending, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, you know, they just re-up you or get you to buy some bottles or to go along with your package and along with your time. You know what I mean? It just depends, you know. Money talks in Vegas, obviously, but you know, usually a lot of these clubs, they're not going to let you really get away with too much, because they just don't want to keep getting raided or getting fucked with by the police and shit, you know.
Well, Reddit told this woman to get an STD test and then leave her husband. What's your response to that?
Fuck. I mean, it just depends on if she could forgive him or not. You know what I mean? Me personally, yeah, she should probably get a little test done, and if he's got a lot of dough, divorce his punk ass and get half, you know. But then again, give the guy a break, man. You know what I mean? Half of this strip club world is about fantasy, and what he might not be getting at home or liking at home, he could go and maybe check out and kind of explore and get intimate and feel crazy about a situation, and then come back home and break your backbone. You never know. You know what I mean? So, I guess it's just a matter of what she wants to do or not, you know, and how much love she's got for the man.
Right. Any final thoughts on the articles that we covered today, Wayne?
I dug it. That was pretty cool and good stuff. And we got to hit a lot of that nightlife action, no doubt. You know what I mean? And it's good that we got to give the people out here a little something extra, a little something different to check out, and another side of Vegas. You know what I mean? Another doors of openings and suggestions and thoughts on shit, you know? It was a great idea. I wish I was a stripper sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Fuck.
Or at least a bottle girl.
Yeah, those girls, bro, they're banging, sexy as fuck, hot as fuck, and cool as fuck, and just be making bank, bro. You know what I mean? Bang. What else can we say, Vegas? We enjoyed your time. Like, share, subscribe. You see the hat. Says it all. I don't need to say it anymore. You know what I mean? You should already know. And shit, man, spend that money. Make that money. Spend that money. Work hard. Play harder. I'm going to probably hit some Tito's and club sodas later tonight. Get some nice ass on my hands. See the new work. King 6 in the building. You know what I'm saying, pussies. See you when I see you. Remember, guys, big things coming. A lot of changes, a lot of crazy shit. Hoa's life is coming back to life. It's going to get crazy. Shit's about to get wild. Summer's coming. Spring, summer. Weather's warming up. You know what that means. Half naked motherfuckers everywhere. Let's rock and roll. God bless, Vegas.